Guys, is the top of the market in? A lot of people were looking at this level, including our channel as well. It's a very, very important level. It's previously marked the top of previous cycles all the way back to 2017, top of the market when we came up and we retested this. Then it was the second retest that was actually top of the market, and we almost come up to this level and retested it. I was actually planning to take a very big short at this level, so I placed my first short at around 105k because we'd come up to the top of the wedge. Out of that falling wedge, usually what happens when you come out of a falling wedge, so we had this wedge here, usually when you break out of these wedges, you go straight to the top of the wedge. So we had a really nice trade and we took profits on our long positions, and I took a short. It's a little bit early, so I took a short about 105k. It was a little bit early because usually what happens is you do this and then you come straight back down to the bottom of the wedge. And you know, it doesn't mean that it's over, right? You could still move to the upside, but usually you do come back down and retest these lows. And the thing that I'm scared about if we do come down and retest those lows is if we never come back to the upside anytime soon, right? And we start to, and we never do this, but we actually, we do this, we get a little bit of a relief rally, and then we go into the start of a bear market, because that's what happened last cycle. And it looks very, very similar to what happened last cycle, right? We push up into a bull run, we retest here, we have a pullback, we find support, we push up. We've got this clear M pattern here that we formed, and it was actually the second push to the upside that was the final nail in the coffin, and we came back and retested. Now look at this level here as well. Once we broke down here, we broke below this bull run support line, so this had been our bull run support line. Once we broke below that, it was pretty much confirmation that the bear market was over, but you often do come back to the scene of the crime. Look how it came back to the scene of the crime, obviously flushing out some late short positions, like people who started to short when we broke the bull run trend line, which will happen again most likely. And then we completely capitulated to the downside, and welcome to the bear market, right? Most people don't end up managing to short the bear market because by the time you break key levels, you're already down 50-60%. So it looks very similar, right? Push to the upside, M pattern, push back to the upside. Now, are we coming back to the bull run trend line? This is going to be a key level. If we come down to this bull run trend line, what happened last cycle? We deviated below, we closed below, we came back and retested. We retested it multiple times. Looked like we was really going to bounce, and then we really started the bear market and capitulated. That'd be interesting, right? If we come down to 50k, it would look quite similar to what happened last cycle, and a 50%, 60% correction. So still less than what we had, still quite a bit less than what we had in terms of correction last cycle. I really like this chart. I really like the bull run trend line. I like the patterns, especially because it's looking quite similar to last cycle. And we did have some institutional adoption, nowhere near the adoption that we have this cycle, but we did have Elon Musk. A lot of institutions were trying for ETFs or preaching for ETFs. I'm not going to compare it to 2017 because that's just a completely different cycle. That's a long time ago. Things have changed massively since then. But yeah, quite similar, a little bit similar to last cycle. So I am actually trading for a top of the market here. Now, not a lot of people will stick their necks on the line, guys, and say, I think we've topped. You know, a lot of people will say, look, I think we're still going to see higher, but we could come down. You know, they'll do either or, right? So that, you know, if they go up, they can say, look, I was right. And if they go down, they can say I was right. I'm actually going to stick my neck on the line and say, I don't know if we're going to come above $114,000, $115,000. And if we do, there's going to be a lot of sell pressure here just because it was historically such a massive level. A lot of people are watching it. Now, what I said to my community is usually two things are going to happen here because it's being watched so much. Now, this wasn't being watched as much last cycle, but now it's being watched a lot. And what happens when a level is watched a lot is one of two things. Sometimes it gets front run. Okay, so loads of people were planning to take short positions here, and they were waiting and waiting. We were one of the channels. We were waiting and waiting and waiting. And sometimes it gets front run, so people actually start to sell off before the level gets hit. Sometimes the exchanges will start to sell because they know loads of people have limit shorts here, and maybe if you push the price up and you hit those limit shorts, you're then going to have to try and liquidate those shorts at 120, 130, 150, it's going to be very hard to do that with the market cap getting so big, right? It's not loose change anymore to actually try and liquidate some of these shorts. It's a lot easier to push the price to the downside. It's so easy, right? They've got stacks and stacks of Bitcoin. They just simply sell it and then they buy it back up, right? In the price pumps, and they sell it and they buy it back up. It's very easy to do that. But, you know, if you've deployed a lot of capital to push the market up, it's very hard to push it to 130, 140. And usually you're looking for a massive retail flood to actually do that, like we did when Trump won, right? We had loads of retail coming in, loads of institutional FOMO. So I am trading for a top here, guys. You know, if it gets stopped out, it gets stopped out. This doesn't happen very often. You don't get a chance to short the top of Bitcoin very often. When's the next time we're going to have a chance? You know, it's once every 4 years that I'm going to have this opportunity. So, of course, I'm going to try and short Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin tops, so do a lot of the altcoins. And, you know, it's going to drag a lot of the altcoins down with it as well. I think, personally, they might have already topped in March 24. You know, that's why I've been taking profits throughout this bull run. I'm not sitting around in the last year of the bull run hoping that my bags pump. That's the worst strategy I've ever heard of. You know, I'll slowly take profits in the bull run. I'll allocate in the bear market. It's very simple, right? We even have the charts now that make it easy for us. We simply buy in the green zones when you come down here, and then you sell in the red. You buy in the green, you sell in the red. You buy in the green, you sell in the red. Like, it does baffle me that so many people lose, because you've got charts that literally tell you what to do. And I'm not being funny, but, you know, if you gave this chart to a 12-year-old, look, mate, press buy in the green and press sell in the red, the 12-year-old's going to know how to do it. And, you know, if you had have bought here, sold here, you won. Like, don't fade the data, guys. If you bought here, sold here, you won. Bought here, sold here, you won. Bought here, sold here, you won. Like, don't fade the data. Where are we now? Are we in a buy? No, we're in a green, and it's screaming take profits. And actually, you can see it's declining, right? So you see how we went heavy blue, small bit of blue, tiny bit of blue. Blue is extreme string greed, technically. This is a P&L chart, so it's similar to greed, but it's basically people not taking profits. No blue, so we went into green, heavy green, quite a lot of green, and now we've come into almost as much green, but not quite. So there's clearly a trend here. It's a shame I can't draw trend lines on here, but there's clearly a trend here. And if this continues, eventually yellow is going to be the top, right? So it's kind of risky even holding into heavy green here, and it might be why a lot of retail actually have started to take profits off the table. So very, very simple. Right now, it's, for me personally, it's not the time to buy. You know, take profits in the pumps, prepare for a bear market, the 4-year cycle, right? That's kind of what I'm trading. It happens over and over again. Bull run into bear market. Bull run. What comes next? Bear market. So I'm waiting to buy in the bear market. I really do like this chart. Hey, maybe we do push over this level. That's fine. I'll get stopped out. Actually, I'm still in my, I said I'd take 2 trades. So I'm still in my 105 trade. My liquidation, I was like 15x, and my liquidation was like 116. And I am still in that position. I'm short SUI. I'm short hyper liquid. Anything that has a massive market cap, I'm short. And not too crazy shorts, just enough that, you know, I can make a few $100,000 if I'm right, and that's enough for me. Because if Bitcoin comes down to 50k and I make a few $100,000 shorting, then I can buy another 4 Bitcoin. That's all I'm doing, guys. I'm only shorting to try and buy some more Bitcoin. And if we do push above this, then yeah, I'm not going to try and short until we see some solid data. Because if we push above this, it's going to be the first time that we've ever broken above this. And you know, you're in blue sky breakout. This is the kind of the last bit of resistance that we have for Bitcoin. And you know, if we break above that, who knows how high we're going to go. And institutional FOMO might even continue. Bitcoin's a little bit different from altcoins. So Bitcoin, it's very hard to predict whether Michael Saylor is going to buy another $10 billion worth, whether Donald Trump is going to launch a strategic reserve for the USA. You know, these are things we can't predict. These are things we can't anticipate. We don't know if Trump's going to sort of deal with China, and maybe in that deal he persuades China to buy $500 billion worth of Bitcoin, and nobody knows, right? So it's very hard to predict BTC. We are looking at a lot of data that indicates that we are going to potentially come to the downside. And yeah, altcoins a little bit easier. Altcoins are actually looking, if we look at Solana, for example, altcoins are looking very similar to they were last cycle, right? Let's not overcomplicate it. Bull run. Let me get rid of these drawings. Let me get rid of these drawings. Okay, that's better. So yeah, very simple. Solana buy in the bull run. Signal in the start of the bull run. Bull run, everything rallies, everyone gets rich. Crash, bear market, everyone sells and dumps their bags. Those who are left holding the bags lose, right? It's an exchange of wealth from the inexperienced to the experienced. Sad. It's a hard game, guys, but you level up, you learn how the game works. Things pump, you take profits. Things dump, you start to buy and accumulate, ready for the next Ponzi pump. Buy signal down here. That's annoying. I'm gonna have to get rid of that. Let me get rid of those. So buy signal down here, start of bull run. I said when we break this green line, it's going to be a break of the bull run trend line, just as it was back here. See, when we broke the green line, it was the start of the bear market. We broke the green line, right? We broke the green line. Not only that, look how similar this looks to last cycle. From the top down to the bottom, same amounts almost as well. Relief rally. This was a relief rally. It wasn't the start of the next leg to the upside. This was the final exit point for investors to get out at $140. And a few weeks later, it was at 27. A few weeks later after that, it was 8. So it went down from 140 to $8. Okay, dangerous games. Looks very similar. Look at this pullback into relief rally just above the green line. And now we're starting to close back below. So technically right now we are here, according to this chart. Now, I'd love to see us push up and make some new highs. I'd love for us to continue. But for now, I can't fade the data, right? The data is saying that we're actually at the start of 12 weeks of downside, okay? I don't know whether that's going to happen, but this is what the data is saying. So we've talked about this. Sell green, buy red, right? So we know what we're waiting for in the bear market. Just as we were down here when we started to buy BTC, Solana was like $23. Casper was like less than half a cent or something stupid. Render was 50 cents and it went to $12. Just as we were buying down in the red, that's my strategy again, just to buy back in the red, okay? I'm going to trade here and there. I'm going to take shorts. Hey, maybe I'll take a long position if the S&P comes down 21% in 2 weeks, just as we did on that last pullback. But I'm sitting in a lot of cash, 75% cash, waiting for this bear market to arrive. Same thing with the days destroyed. Spike, bear market shortly after. Spike, bear market shortly after. Spike, are we expecting a bear market shortly after? Where am I going to buy back in? When we get close to this orange line, is going to be one of the key indicators for me. Am I going to buy just off this? Absolutely not. I'm going to be looking at all the data, the smart money, the insiders, the whales, the other 10 charts that we have, the macro, tariffs, inflation, CPI, GDP, debt plans, debt recovery, the elections, Trump, Kamala, who's running for elections. There's so many different variables that come into it. And I really do hope we see some black swan events so that the banks can get in. The banks want to make money, guys. The banks they don't want to come in and pump your bags at 110K. They want this crash. They want this 70-80% crash. They've had to sit and watch retail get rich for so long with not being able to play ball, right? They've had to sit outside. They've had to call it risky, call it a scam, whilst everyone else got to accumulate. And now we're asking them to come in and pump our bags with trillions of dollars. It's not how the game works. They will want their fair share, just as BlackRock wanted a massive crash here, and we ended up getting it. It was one of the worst bear markets in history. And they managed to get some decent priced Bitcoin, right? They managed to get, stack their bags before institutions could really start to flow back in. So when we get close to this, very, very accurate chart, really cool orange support line here. We got close to it, it bounced, got close to it, bounced, got close to it, bounced, pretty much marked the bottom each time. So we're so far away from this. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see us stay up for too long. If we stay up here for a very long time, this orange line is going to creep higher and higher and higher. So if we push up to now 120, 130, 150K, the orange line continues to go up, to go up, to go up. And that means that our potential floor going into the bear market is going to be higher and higher and higher. And is it possible we come below this orange line? Absolutely. Anything's possible. Am I going to wait and see if we come below? No. Just as we go down, guys, pigs get slaughtered. People are greedy on the way down. Just like Gareth Soloway was shorting Bitcoin at the bottom, and he was saying he's going down to 5K, 10K. He was shorting just in disbelief when, you know, all he had to do is look at this simple chart, and he would have made hundreds of millions and probably wouldn't have lost most of his community, right? So very, very important. People get greedy on the way down. People get more bearish here at the bottom than they are up here, right? They don't get bearish into the pumps. They get bullish because it's going up. Why would it go? How could it go down 50%? How could it go down? Institutions are here, right? But if you zoom out, look at the state of this chart. Look at it. It's just an absolute rocket ship to the moon. And it's nowhere near this orange support line here. Just as we did last cycle, it's even more aggressive. The way it's sort of gone up almost vertically. Things don't go up vertically, they come down as well. I think it's going to go up over time, but you know I'm still bullish, guys. Even though I'm looking for a bear market pullback, I am swing trading, and I do think that Bitcoin is going to $1 million, maybe even by next cycle. And you know, if it does come back to 50k, that puts us on a 20x, on a pretty much solid play. 20x. You know, BlackRock are marketing it for you. The USA are marketing it. Like, institutions and companies are coming in. Pension funds are accumulating. Like, it's very, very fortunate still to be in this position, even though it is 100k. It might go 70k, 50k, 40k. We're very, very fortunate to be in this asset that's brand new and, you know, has support by BlackRock and is still 10 times smaller than gold. And, you know, more liquid than gold, more transferable than gold, more easily adopted than gold. You know, it's superior to gold in many, many ways, and it's still massively undervalued. Hence, we're still seeing people dollar cost average at 110k. It's crazy. So, not financial advice. Do your own research. Investing in crypto is highly risky. These are just my strategies. These are just what I'm planning to do. And I am looking for shorts going into the bear market right now. Obviously, be careful trading, guys. You can lose all your money at any time whatsoever if you're trading. Look at what happened to James. Try and learn from these guys with stop losses and strategies, and, you know, not going too heavy. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest, because I'm going to be talking about bottoms when I'm buying, bear market short positions, when altcoins lose their bull market trend lines. Some altcoins are still above their bull run trend lines, and, you know, when they start to go, you know, who knows what's going to happen, because most altcoins do come down, you know, 90 to 99%. Guys, if you want to follow me, head over to X. You can see my X account here. And if you want to get involved with us and you want to see all of the buy and sell signals, you see these alerts that come up here. You can get these inside your own trading view as well. You just literally click on the token you want to look at, flick up here if you want to look at daily, 4 hourly, and it will give you signals. We are actually still short on Sui, and you know, Sui's actually has a sell signal here now on the daily. Amazing buy position, buy signal, amazing buy signal down here, amazing short signal. So it's been very, very accurate so far. It's not always going to be this consistent, but very, very good for catching trend shifts. So my X is here. Here's the name. Just type that into Twitter. And then drop me a follow. And I also post different bits of content on there. I've posted something. Actually, go and watch this, guys. Go and watch this, because I've posted this video. I'm doing videos on how to make money from AI now. So go and check this video. It's on my X, and watch it, because it's absolutely insane. It might be one of the most important videos you watch, because there is lots of opportunity in AI. There's lots of opportunity in specifically VO3. I'm calling it VO3, but who knows? Other platforms might come along and surpass this. But right now, VO3 is leading the game, and there's probably 100 businesses I can think of that would absolutely print with this. And also, it's fun, right? It's good fun. We're going to learn. I'm going to build a business from scratch. I'm going to show you guys how I build a business, how we can use AI to do a lot of the legwork in these things. I actually used AI to choose the name, to choose the logos, and you know, help me with a lot of the planning. And you'll be surprised. You know, it's so smart now, and it's smarter than I'll ever be. And I can use 4 different AIs, and I can what I was doing is putting it into multiple AIs, and then it was giving me good stuff from each one, and then I combined it into one, and then I gave it back to the AIs as one, and then looked at the best overall project scope that it created. And yeah, it was amazing. And I really am going to get stuck into this because I think it's week 1 and nobody really knows about it, even though we see it on Twitter a lot. We're stuck in the internet, right? We're in the 0.1% who are on top of the internet every day, and nobody really knows what's possible. Nobody knows what's going on. There's going to be, most TV shows are going to be AI, and no one's even going to know they're AI, right? Media production companies are going to be, I could waffle on about it forever, but like, we're at the start of something special. So go there, subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those videos if you're interested in AI and video generation. Until then, I will catch you guys in the next one.